Hello everyone, welcome back to 70s and 80s talk. I'm back sooner than what I thought. So today I'm going to be doing a pick and mix review of Billy Idol's band, hence why I'm wearing this Billy Idol t-shirt, which has got a massive crease down there. But it's been in my wardrobe for a while, I haven't ironed it in a while. Yes, Billy Idol's old band Generation X, which was around in the late 70s, 1976 to 1981 was when they had their time. So yeah, I've just picked a few songs to review, basically the ones that I used to listen to, still listen to now. And basically I got really into Billy Idol at uni. With a lot of bands I got into at uni. Not modern bands, you know, ones that were well before my time. Billy Idol was one of them. Obviously solo artist, not a band though. And then when I was researching, I found about bands that he was in before his solo career, and Generation X being one of them. I think he was in another one as well, I think. So they're a late 70s punk band. Punk was really big then. So that's what the genre is of the band. I remember I was literally just obsessed with a few songs in particular. I just listened to them over and over again. It's such a weird thing, like when you listen to their music, you really just go back to that era. I'm just reading my review of my laptop here, and that's my dog barking. Yeah, so funny enough, when I was, a bit of a story here, when I was really getting into Generation X and Billy Idol, at uni there was lots of different events and things like that I used to go to, and one of them I went to, the dog has to bark when I'm doing this, there was a guy at the bar and he had bleached blonde hair and was wearing a black leather jacket, and I'd literally just been spending all my spare time watching Billy Idol, and to see this guy there, I was thinking, that's so weird. And it was almost like it was Billy Idol stood there, honestly, but then he turned around and I was like, okay, that's not Billy Idol. Also the fact it was like 40 years in the future from that time. But yeah, a bit of a funny story. I definitely had to take a double glance that day. It was on, yeah, I just literally wrote here, to make sure that it wasn't young Billy Idol and that it wasn't actually 1979. No, it was like 2018 or something. So I'm just going to stop rambling like I normally do. But I always like to put little stories into these, because it is 70s and 80s talks, so I like to do bits of talks and bits of stuff in there. So the first song is Into the Valley of the Dolls. The start of that song, it's so 70s. The way Billy sings dolls, I really like. It's so different to Billy Idol, so different, this band, with them being punk. Billy Idol's more rock, I'd say. So the verses rhyme very well in this song. He does that iconic Billy Idol fist though in that video, which I just love, and it's nice to see because I know that's his kind of iconic pose that he does now, or when he's went in solo, but he's actually been doing it since he was in Generation X actually. So backing vocals are great too from the other band members. Another thing, when I was watching this video, I realised how much Billy Idol's son looks like Billy Idol when he was younger. Like, they are really spitting image. He's a spitting image of his dad, definitely. Willem, that is what I'm talking about there. The video it's fascinating. I just want to be there when I watch it. The atmosphere looks absolutely brilliant. Something which just, I feel like those 70s and 80s gig videos you watch, just, it's like then, now gigs are not like that. I don't know. Strange one. So next one is Kiss Me Deadly, which was a hit for them. It was. The simplicity to the start, the guitar and Billy singing. The song is actually referred to in Kings and Queens of the Underground, their title track, Billy's title track of his solo album, which I'm saying solo album, he'd literally been solo for years before this album came out, but it was the 2015 album. And he mentions that Kiss Me Deadly, then we had a hit. That's what the line is in there, so it's nice to see that link back. Brilliant album that, by the way. I definitely will be reviewing Kings and Queens, The Underground by Billy Idol, one of my favourite modern rock albums for sure. So the song quickens in pace, then you get a bit more of a rocky tone in there with the drums and the electric guitar, which is, what I will say about these songs is, the variations in sound, you never get bored, there's no repetitiveness at all. It's very cleverly done, very well produced. Great songs, set of songs here that I'm reviewing here. So the next one is Wild Youth. Brilliant. So the quickness of it, I love that. You've got so much going on, which I just said there. You've got lots of flavours, lots of things. It really takes you back in time, this song. To be honest, all of them do, but this one for me really does. That Wild, Wild, Wild Youth, with that repeating clap as well, the feet slamming sound, that's what I think it is, in the same pace as Billy singing that Wow Wow Wild. Cleverly done, great, works really well. Got that squealing guitar in there as well, fantastic. The next one is Your Generation. Again, very quick. I love the sound of these set of songs for sure. I swear in my past life, I was there. I don't know, like, it's so bizarre. I've explained before how I just feel like I belong back in that era. And these songs really makes me feel that even more. With this song, everything works. I can't say, oh, this could have been better. With all these songs, I can't say that. They're spot on, they really are. For a bunch of young lads, honestly, well done. Because honestly, they created these songs when they were really young. And they're great, they really are. Oh, it's my laptop's in my battery's low. I'm just trying to think, I was going to say something else there. I think with these songs, obviously they had, back in the day, Generation X really had a young audience because they were young, obviously. But I think what they were singing about was very relatable to the youth, your generation. You know, it's very appropriate what they were singing about and the song titles, and it all just seemed to fit well, which is I think why the songs are so well produced, because I think they were trying, I don't know if that was their aim to try and sing about stuff. I guess they were trying to write songs about things that they were going through, which other young people were going through, therefore they related to the band. I think that's what was probably going on there. So the next one is King Rocker. Bit of almost like Elvis vibe in this one. It's yeah. So I actually forgot about this one, and it came up on the suggestion on YouTube, and I was like, oh yeah, King Rocker. The bass is really good in this, definitely punk sounding. How Billy builds with that chorus is fantastic. What a brilliant produced song. So much identity with this band in particular. Really just stand out like nothing else. They just went out there, said, hey, this is what we're going to do. Don't care if you like it or not. And I think they're brilliant, I do. I do warn though, the video for this one on YouTube is very loud in comparison to other ones. So if you ever listen to the other songs and this one's coming on, turn your volume down if you've got your headphones on, because honestly, it's very loud. You can hear Billy's London accent in this as well, which I love that. I love hearing accents in singers. It's a rap really, this lyrically wise, but it's a different type of rap. I don't really listen to rap, but this sort of rap, this sped up lyrics, I like that. Vocals, I should say. The backing vocals, again, are great. You've got maracas in there as well, which works really well. It's musically sound, I'd say. The next one is Ready Steady. I don't know if it's actually Ready Steady Go, or it's just Ready Steady. There's actually more songs than I thought when I was going to do this pick and mix. I'll just do like 3 or 4 and do more than that. You've got the yelling lyrics in this one, the rhyming is great, class lyric writing actually. The riff in it is so on it. The backing vocals, again, repeating what Billy is saying, is great. So the next one is Dancing With Myself, and this is the last one I'm going to review, which Billy Idol actually redid when he went solo. I would say this version, Generation X version, is more raw. Vocally, I think that's the biggest difference vocally. Sound-wise, like all the instruments, it's pretty much the same, but vocally, it's quite different. The bass is very good in this song. how he's sung in Generation X is different how he sings solo for sure if you're comparing Dancing With Myself Generation X version to Billy Idol solo version. But I quite like hearing the different versions of how he sings this song. It's a really good example to hear how Billy Idol's sound has changed from Generation X to being solo. I prefer the later version. I prefer Billy Idol's solo version, but I don't have an issue with Generation X's one at all. There's a breakdown which doesn't happen in the later version though, which was almost, I think they just took that out. I'd say it was a little bit too much, I'd say, so maybe that's why it got took out in the solo one. I don't know, but it's just a bit like, I think it was just Billy just kind of yelling and saying words and stuff. And I think there's backing vocals too. Obviously in the Generation X one, and not the solo one, obviously, because that was the band then. But yeah, definitely the Generation X Dancing With Myself is more raw. It's less kind of vocally, I don't know how to describe it, vocally perfect in a way, I guess I'd say, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with singing raw and not worrying about, oh, do I actually sound all right or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not, I'm not saying it's bad vocally or anything, definitely not. It's really good, but it's just different. It's just, it's more of a raw vocal that Billy does in that. One thing though, to finish this little review here is though, what would have happened if Generation X had stayed together? They were together 5 years. I mean, on Wikipedia it says that they got back in 1993 to do a little thing or something. I'm not sure. I know recently Billy Idol did actually do some Generation X songs on a live performance. So he has actually recently done some of them. If you want to check them out on YouTube, it's quite easy to find, to be honest. But yeah, if they stayed together, then would Billy Idol not have had a solo career? Would he have just stayed with Generation X? Or they would just got bigger and bigger? I feel like Billy would have always wanted to do the solo though. I feel like, imagine that though. Imagine if Generation X stayed together. What if White Wedding and Rebel Yell never happened? Or what if it happened but as a Generation X songs? It's interesting. One to think about for sure. So that's my little pick and mix review of some Generation X songs. They have got albums, you won't listen to them. I've listened to bits and bobs. I haven't listened to them in full, in all honesty. I feel like those ones there with the videos are kind of ones that I quite like. The ones outside of that, they go quite punk, which I am not as keen on, I'd say. So that's why I wanted to do a pick and mix, really. So the next review I'm going to be doing is probably going to be a pick and mix of Bryan Adams. That is going to be the next one, I'd say. And I am going to be doing Def Leppard's. It is Pyromania, isn't it? I don't know why I keep doubting myself that that is what it is. Yeah, it's Pyromania, because obviously 40 years since it's been released this year. Back in January it was. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care now. Bye bye.